How do you make the square root?
Just type in SQRT. Type in square.
Square.
Okay. So, we're going to be multiplying square roots today, which we've done before. It'll just be a little more, a few more steps this time around, but it's not going to be that big a deal. So I've got a square root 10 outside here, and then I got parentheses square root 6 plus 3. What do I do when I have something outside parentheses?
Do it last. Outside or inside?
Outside.
Multiply.
We're going to multiply, right? We'll do the little arc thing, what's the mathematical word for that? Starts with the D.
Distribute.
Distribute. So we're going to distribute. And when I distribute, it's basically just like normal. But remember, when you multiply these together, you multiply the outsides, and then you multiply the insides.
Oh, does it have an inside or the outside?
That's true. Okay, so let's do our first one here. We're going to go square root 10 times square root 6. Are there any outsides?
Nope.
No, so they don't matter. And we're just going to go square root 10 times square root 6, multiply the insides, and do what's 10 times 6?
60.
Okay. So square root 60 plus, when I do the next one, square root 10 times 3. I have one outside and one inside, right? So I'm just going to put them together. Outside, inside. I'm done.
What?
Because 3 is an outside, and this 10 is an inside, right?
How do you know that 3 is outside?
Because there's no square root. Remember, the outside, I mean the thing outside the square root. And the inside, I mean inside the square root.
Oh, then we saw from there.
Yeah. See how 10 is inside the square root?
Yeah.
And 3 is not inside the square root because the square root, like right here, stops, right?
Wait, what if you can times the outside? Is it just...
Then you would times them together. So we'll keep doing this. Okay. So, alright. So, 3 times square root of 10 is 3 square root of 10. After I've done this, I can go through and simplify and add together just like my warm-up.
You get 5.
So 60 is really what times what?
5
Is that right?
2 times
6 times 10.
Yep, 6 times 10, right? But 6 is really 2 times 3, and 10 is really 5 times 2, right?
Yep.
Okay, what's going to get kicked out?
Oh, we're still on 8?
Yeah, we're still on 8. 2's get kicked out, right? So 2 got kicked out, and I've got, let's see,
3.
3 and a 5 left over, which is 15, right? Alright, plus 3 square root of 10.
Oh,
Because
shoot,
10 is 5 times 2, but does anything get kicked out if I have a 5 and a 2?
No.
No. So, can I add these together?
No.
No, we're done. This is my final answer.
NP.
Or you can just say, we're done, like this. So, it's true, you can't add them together. But on this, since we multiplied them, let's just leave our answer like this. And that's fine. We'll do the next one. Okay. On this next one, we're going to multiply these together, right? Okay. When I multiply the first two, I have an inside and an inside, because they're both inside square roots, right?
Yeah.
So I'm going to go 2 times 6, which is
12.
12. I have square root of 12. Okay. When I do this next one, I have square root 2 and a 5. 5 is an outside because it's not inside a square root, right? 2 is an inside because it's inside the square root. If you have an outside and inside, just put them together. 5 square root. That's a terrible square root. That looks terrible. It's like I got a W with like a weird line on the end. Alright, 5 is the outside. Square root of 2 is the inside. And then it's just like our warm-up. So I can split up 12, right?
Yeah.
12 is going to be what times what?
6 times
6 times 2. But 6 is
2.
really
2
2 times 3.
Yeah.
And then let's see, a pair of 2's get kicked out. So this is really 2 square root of 3, right? Plus 5 square root of 2. Can I actually add these together?
How do you get those on the right? I don't understand.
5 square root of 2.
Yeah, why do you put the 3 on the end? Where do you get the 3?
Oh, okay. So I got square root of 12, right? I simplified it. I split it up.
Oh, okay.
12 is really 6 times 2. 6 is 2 times 3. 2's get kicked out. 3 left over. So I simplified, but I can't add because I have square root 3, square root 2. So I'm just going to go, yeah, good enough. We're done. Alright, you guys' turn. I want you to multiply these ones in the box.
There's one more extra than the one we had.
That's true. So, alright, you know what? Let's do the first part together. Okay, on this first part, if I have square root 7 times 3 square root 5, what outsides do I have? Just a 3, right?
Yeah.
So there's nothing else, so I'm going to go 3. And then square root, and then the insides. I have a 7 and a 5. What's 7 times 5?
35.
So I just did the first one. Now you guys have to do the second one and then see if you can add it together and simplify. So do the first one, or we did the first one, do the second one, see if you can add it together and simplify. And I'll give you 30 seconds or so. Lucas. Okay. Alright, so we're distributing,
I
right?
can multiply 2 by 5. But you don't have to. Top one. I'm just using
Okay.
everything
So on the top one, so on that 5, on this one right here, is this 5 inside a square root?
No.
No. So when I multiply, I do outsides together and then insides together. But if this is an outside and this is an inside, I can't actually multiply it together. Outside goes with outside, inside with inside.
But these are both outsides.
So the square root stops right there. It's just a little teeny.
Yeah, but the 3 and 4 are both outside.
Mhm. But we're multiplying it by the 7 on the inside. So we're gonna go square root 7. Remember the like distribute, like if I had so if I had like 2 and then
Just do it right here.
distribute, right? Okay.
That's this one.
Yep. Because
So you do 3 times 4. So you do 12.
we're gonna do
So
this
negative
this times this.
7.
See how 7 is inside square root? Is 4 inside a square root?
No.
No. So this is an outside, that's an inside. You can't multiply them together. It's like if you have a 2 times an x, can you like put those together? Just 2x, right? But that goes in front, that's behind. You don't actually do anything with that, you're just shoving it in. Same thing. This 4 is like an outside, like a 2. Square root 7 is kind of like an x. This is not inside a square
So
root.
negative 4 square root 7.
Yep. That's it. And then we can go and add just like the warm-up by trying to simplify. It's not that bad.
But nothing else like go 35.
That's true. So, alright, so let's go through this one. So, Ira, what do you get when you do the second part right here?
Second part?
Yeah.
Negative 4, 7.
Yep.
Or square root 7.
Square root 7, right? Okay. And then we'd have to go through and try to simplify this 35. But can you split up 35? I mean, you can, but nothing gets kicked out, right? 5 times 7. So this is my final answer. Because I can't do anything else. That's it. 3 square root 35 minus 4 square root 7. Alright, so we distributed and we are also going to be foiling. Remember FOIL? Anybody remember what it stands for?
First inside, outside, last.
Yeah.
Front, outside.
Although usually I do outside then inside, but that's fine.
Whatever.
Yeah. Okay, so we are going to FOIL these two things together. And then we're going to simplify at the end. So I'm going to FOIL, so first,
Oh, I'm
outside,
doing this.
yeah, inside, and then last. Alright,
I don't
DeAndre.
have to do all that with every single one. Simplify them.
It's
and
not that
then do
bad, you don't have that many problems. Alright,
They're gonna
DeAndre,
be like 2.
if I'm multiplying first together, what am I multiplying?
The 6 and 6.
For each problem, there's like 4 problems.
Yeah, that's why we're not having very many. Yep. We're gonna multiply these two together, right?
But didn't do you do the 3 technically we don't have to do this.
Okay,
We pass the quiz.
that's true, but probably not gonna pass the quiz if you don't practice. Yeah, probably not. Okay, so I gotta do square root of 6 times square root of 6 for the first right. But let's see if you guys remember a little bit. These are exactly the same, aren't they?
Yeah.
So, when they're exactly the same, do you remember what happens?
Oh, the square root goes disappears.
And it's just 6.
Yeah.
Remember, if it's exactly the same, then the square root disappears and it's just the 6.
But it's not outside.
So, the outsides are the next ones.
Oh.
So we just did first, right?
Yeah.
So outside, we're going to do square root 6 times square root 3, which is really square root 18, right?
Yeah.
Because 6 times 3 is 18. They're both the insides.
Wait, you can multiply those together? I thought it has to.
We can't add them, but we can multiply them. Okay, so I got square root 18. And then I got to do my inside parts next,
36.
which are, don't forget, it's this whole piece and this. And don't forget, this is a negative right here too for your inside. So my inside, negative 2 square root 3 times square root of 6. Okay, so when I multiply these ones together, what outsides do I have?
The 3 and 3.
The
Negative 2
What?
and 1.
negative 2. And there's a 1 there, which negative 2 and 1 is negative 2, right? Okay, and then I gotta multiply the insides. 3 times 6 is 18, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Alright, and then I gotta do the last. And that's where we're gonna get the square root 3 and square root 3, right? Okay, so last is gonna be
Negative 2 square root 3.
negative 2 square root 3
That's it.
times square root 3. Alright, when my outside, let's see, outside's on here, I got negative 2. And then on the insides, I have square root 3 and square root 3.
So it's negative 2 square root
Okay. You remember how when we did the square root 6 and square root 6, we got 6?
Yeah.
If I have a square root 3 and square root 3, what am I really getting?
3.
Well, 9, right?
Yeah.
And the square root of 9 is 3. So, these are exactly the same, which means it's just going to be 3.
3. Negative 2 times 3?
Because I had a negative 2 out in front, right?
Well, why did you get the times from? Why do you have the times?
Because it's like the 3 got kicked out. You know, it's like, okay, all right, let me do it the long way. Let me do it the long way.
No, we're fine.
Fine, then just trust me. Okay, square root 3 and square root 3 are exactly the same. When you multiply them together, it's just a 3. But since I had a negative 2 out in front, I got to keep the negative 2 out in front and multiply to really get a negative 6. Okay, we are almost done. These are long problems. I know.
There's more?
Yeah, because, okay, I have to add all these together. So I gotta put things
But you can't
together,
add
right?
them all together unless you got the same.
But I can put a 6 and a negative 6 together, which is, that's you divide it. 6 minus 6 is just 0, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so I got a
Wait,
0.
6 minus. Isn't that negative 6?
Yeah.
6 minus negative 6?
No, just 6 minus 6. Or 6 plus negative 6. Either way.
But that is not. That's not a minus 6 on the end of the bottom.
Yeah, that is a minus 6 right there. But it's like you're adding them together now. You're adding.
This defeats everything I learned.
Well, we'll keep going over it. I don't know.
Everything
These are more
is
steps
a
than
lot.
regular foils. Okay,
It's a lot.
I do 6 plus negative 6, I get 0. I have 18, and I'm going to put it together with, I'm going to plus it together with negative 2 squared 18.
Negative 2 times 18.
We are adding them together now. What number's in front of this square root?
1.
1, right? So
I thought you said you
1
can't add
plus
them.
negative 2?
I'm so confused.
I know, we're going to keep doing it. It's okay.
Wait, 1 plus negative 2
Yeah.
is 1.
It's negative 1.
Yeah.
So I have
That's too much.
negative 1 square root 18.
Already.
That is my final answer. We're going to keep going over these because they're a long process. They're a lot different than the regular foil, right? So we're going to keep going over it.
Wait, how'd you get that?
1 square root 18 plus negative 2 square root 18 is
No.
negative 1.
Negative 1 plus -2.
This is positive 1. Plus
I know
negative
1 plus -2.
2 is negative 1.
And then you put.
The square root. Okay. Alright, let's do another one, because this is confusing. It is, it's tough.
I would just need help on the last part. It's not confusing.
Okay, that's fine. So let's practice it on this one. So we're going to FOIL these two together. So I got to go first, outside, inside, last. Alright. Lily, start us off. If we're going to multiply the first
don't
together,
wanna do this.
what are we multiplying?
I don't want to do this.
So help me out though. What am I multiplying together when I multiply the
You're
first
the
one?
teacher, not me.
Yeah, that's why I'm asking you.
6 minus
The
4
6.
square root of 3.
Perfect. I gotta go square root 6 times 4 square root of 3. Okay? So my outsides are gonna be 1 times 4, which is 4. And then the insides, 6 times 3, are 18. So when I did the first, I got 4 square root 18. Okay, Roy, what am I multiplying together for the outsides?
6 times 3 square root 6.
Yep. So square root of 6
3 times 6.
times 3 square root of 6, right? Which, okay, so my outsides, I get 3. But square root of 6 and square root of 6 are just 6, right? So 3 times 6, which is 18, which is perfect. Okay? Alright, Jake, what am I multiplying for the insides?
-2 square root of 3 times 4 square root of 3.
So -2 square root of 3, 4 square root of 3. Okay? I do the outsides. -2 times 4 is -8. And the insides, if it's square root 3 and square root 3, that's really just 3, right? You go times 3.
Dude, I'm pretty sure I can pass this.
Good.
I'm pretty sure I just don't want to do this, and I'll just take the text over.
No, it's been so long since we had a regular lesson. Guys gotten lazy.
We've had regular lessons, just not an
That's all.
extended. Like,
That's true.
Just,
This is a tough
no
one.
one wants to do this.
Yeah, that's right. Okay,
Just go do this.
so for my insides,
Honestly, I'll pass it.
when I did the -2 times 4, I got -8. Square root 3 times square root 3 is just 3. So we put them together, we get -24.
-2.
And Lucas, what are the last things I'm multiplying?
-2 square root 3, 3 square root 6.
Yep. -2 square root of 3 times 3 square root of 6.
And you gotta simplify it,
Yep.
you gotta add them. and
So,
multiply
-2 times 3 is
it
-6.
together.
Let's see. So I got square root 3 times square root 6 is square root of 18. Okay. So we are not quite done yet because we have to combine our like terms. We gotta put things that are
So
similar
you just
together.
have to simplify the I.
The square roots, right? I can put together. I have a square root 18 and a square root 18, which means I can just do 4 plus -6, which is what, Ira?
Wait, what?
When I put together my 4 square root 18
Yeah.
plus -6 square root 18, what do I get?
So -6 plus 18?
The 4 square root of 18 plus -6
Negative
square root of 18,
2 square root.
Oh, okay.
So 4 plus -6.
Okay.
which is
So
This is -6.
it's
It's
-2.
-2. So I have -2 square root of 18. And I have just two regular numbers, right? What's 18 plus -24, DeAndre?
Hmm?
What's 18 plus -24?
6.
6.
Don't forget -6.
So it's like,
I said negative.
Oh, I didn't hear you. I said 6.
Okay.
Alright, and that's it. I won't make you guys go farther than that.
Table flip.
Tough one. It's a tough one.
I'm gonna guess.
I don't want the homework.
Because there's
Give me
lots
the
of
quiz.
steps.
I don't want the homework. Give me the quiz.
No, we gotta practice. Alright, your guys' turn.
You
You guys
got
do
it.
good on this, we won't have to do the extra ticket. Alright, so on your own, I want you to FOIL these two things together. So 3 square root 2 plus 4, and then 2 minus
I
4
don't know how
square
to
root
do
3.
it since the what's it called doesn't have a square root.
What do you mean?
The 2.
Alright, well, I'll get you started. 3 square root of 2 times 2, right? What are the outsides that I'm multiplying together?
The 2
Negative 4?
The 2 and the 3.
You get 6.
Oh, sorry, I meant on this problem right here.
No.
Yeah.
Which
3 times 2 is 6, right?
Yeah.
6 square root of 2. Okay,
Yeah.
keep going. You guys can do the rest. And if you want, how about you guys just do outside, inside last, and we'll make sure you got the right answers, and then you guys can add them together at the very end later. So just do outside, inside last.
What if you can't do it because they're both tiny numbers?
Like
Wait, go keep camera. The good head.
I'm sorry, I got some somewhat crusty ones.
Oh, those are
Leave
good.
that first on inside, then the 4 times 2.
You died?
First
I died.
outside,
This guy right here.
inside, and the last one.
Mhm.
It's 3 and 2, but you can't simplify it.
Is it the fan you go to Ghana or something?
So what do you do?
Okay. So when you're doing these ones, right? You go 3 times negative 4 is negative 12. Okay. And then 2 times 4 is 6.
Some crazy, dude.
And then we get them all together.
Yep. And put together what you can. But some of them might not really go together. Like, can you put these two together?
No.
No. So you're gonna go like 6 square root 2 minus 12 square root 6. Just write it down. So just do the. Oh, I think you're forgetting one more. Because we did first. Oh, you forgot the first, outside, inside, last. This one. The 4 times the
Wait, what's your name?
So you do 4 times negative 4, which is negative 16.
Yep.
Square root is negative 12.
No, just negative 16 square root 3. Because 3 is the inside, right? Is there an inside by that 4? No, it's just a 4. So it's just 3. Negative 16 square root 3.
Is this a final answer?
Answer.
Wait, find it.
Alright.
Wait,
How's that not the last time?
Go see.
So, the inside, right? Is that this one?
Yeah.
I'm so confused on which is which now because we
This
put
is
what
actually
is
the
this?
dumbest
This last.
thing.
This one's the last.
So first inside, outside, last.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
I don't want to put all those
I know.
together.
So wait a second, and we'll talk about it.
Come on.
Just wait.
Chill pill.
What's 4 times negative 4?
Negative 8. Oh, it's
Negative 16. There you go. Excellent. Times by 2. Alright, so let's go over these.
Just go over them. Don't have this
Okay,
thing.
when I multiply the outsides, alright, when I multiply the outsides, Ira,
Yeah.
what do I get when I multiply outsides?
You get negative 12 square root of 6.
Okay.
Oh, those.
When I do the insides, what do I get when I multiply the insides, Lily?
Right.
Lily.
1,
Which is?
8.
2, 8.
Okay, and then for the last Roy, what do I get?
16 square root of 3.
Yep, negative 16 square root of 3. Okay, so I gotta go through and put these together, right? But let's go through, look. I have 8. Do I have any other just regular numbers?
No.
So I'm gonna go 8. I have a 6 square root 2. Do I have any other square root 2s?
No.
So I'm just gonna go plus 6 square root 2. I have a square root of 6. Do I have any other square root 6s?
No.
So I'm just gonna go minus 12 square root 6.
Holy crap.
And then I got a square root of 3. Are there any other square root of 3s?
No.
So I'm just gonna write it out. Minus 16 square root of 3. Remember, you can only put like terms
Whoa,
together.
what happened?
So, okay, I have this 8, right?
You
Do
put all
I-
those together.
because I need to have the same.
Does it have to be in a specific order?
No, the order doesn't matter. So if you just went straight down, that's fine.
This lesson is actually dumb.
It's not that bad. Not that bad. No, I've seen worse. I've seen worse. And that's it.
We're not doing calculus.
Oh my god.
Actually, there are parts of calculus that are easier than these.
Dear God.
Let's
Let's take
Parts,
calculus.
not all of it, but parts. Okay, so we are gonna skip the exit ticket, and I'll get you guys your homework here in just a minute.
Wait, I have to read down the homework.